Okay, here's a flat of broccoli. And then here's some onions. You can barely see them, but they're sprouting. And I got some tomatoes going there. And I've got my herbs going. There's some thyme and some other stuff. Lots of broccoli and cauliflower. And those are tomatoes right there. So everything is going pretty good. I got some other stuff here. Oh yeah, these are some tomatoes, little guys. And then more onions. They're just barely popping up, just like your guys's. And then over here, I've got more stuff going. These are some flowers, but they're not producing yet. One thing I wanted to show you though, is this stuff here. This is winter wheat, and I'm growing this. And what you do with this stuff is once it gets up to about this high, what you're supposed to do is you take it out, flip it upside down, and put it in my worm bin, because the worms do need to have fresh. I'm not sure what it is, but it's basically the green part. And I don't have enough scraps to have what they need, so I grow this kind of stuff and give it to them. It's pretty interesting. It comes out like carpet, but basically you turn it upside down. I turn it upside down in the worm bin, and I sprinkle some worm chow on it, give it a little bit of water, and the worms go crazy for it. So that's a little bit of I guess like a pro tip would be, and I learned all this from watching Mimi's Worm Farm and another guy. So yeah, fun stuff. But that's my whole setup. I got a lot going. This is only the cool weather stuff with watermelons and zucchini, that kind of stuff. We're gonna have a whole bunch of that stuff coming, but it's a little too early to make to get those germinating. I think I'm gonna wait a little bit, but I'll show you next what I've been working on all day. Well, this is what I'm trying to get done. I want to get this done so I can start my watermelons and stuff in here, because I'm going to have lots of pumpkins and watermelon starts. But this is tedious work. I've been putting all these rails on. You got to put all these rails on here in order to get the plastic to, it's called wiggle wire. You wiggle wire the plastic on. So all these pieces I've been screwing on today, up and down the ladder about 100 times. But I got all the rails done along the side here. Lots of screws. Man, it's like putting together a puzzle, but it's fun. It's a little chilly today, so it would be nice if it was sunny outside. But all these corner pieces, and obviously, or of course, I make the mistakes and I have to go back and fix stuff, but I'm going to be a professional at putting greenhouses together when I'm done, I think. But I'm learning a lot. It's kind of fun. Like I said, it's kind of like a puzzle, but it's going to be really handy. And with this, I will be able to grow vegetables all year round. And so I'm pretty excited about that, especially the broccoli and carrots. The cool weather stuff will survive. But right here is going to be a little man door. I have that stage behind me, so it's going to be like a screen door. And then down there is a roll-up door, so I'll be able to come in here with my tractor, move stuff around on pallets. And out here I got my outdoor garden just covered up for now. I'll take all that off when I go to plant here, but you have to wait for the soil temperature to warm up. It's still too cold to put anything outside. But I was just out here yesterday and I saw these onions that I missed last year. They're overwintering, it's called, and they'll actually produce onions. I mean, even now you could pick some of these tops here and chop them up and put them in your salad. They'll be fine. They're nice and tasty. I was chewing on one yesterday. But out here is going to be where all my watermelons and pumpkins are going to go grow. And if you look, you'll see clover. And I planted this clover last fall, and this is called a cover crop. And so all the nitrogen, the clover pulls nitrogen out of the air, or it converts the air into nitrogen, which goes into the soil, and it's good for your vegetables. It's called the nitrogen fixer type of crop. But this whole field is going to be clover. Now that it's getting warm, all this clover will really take off. And then I'll till it in the ground, and it'll be really good for the vegetables. And you don't need so much fertilizer when you can plant cover crops. But there's that screen door that I'm going to put on there. It's actually called a storm door. This will be going on my greenhouse. So I'll have a man door up front, and then I'll have a roll-up door in the back. So, and my artichokes, they didn't die this winter. It didn't get cold enough because we had such a mild winter. So I'm gonna have artichokes real soon, actually. As soon as it starts to warm up, which is gonna start here in the next couple weeks, they should do great. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, look forward to seeing some of your guys' videos. See you later. Well, here's my worm farm. I have everything outdoors now. And I come out here, this is like 3 feet by 8 feet. I bring all my scraps out here. We eat a lot of eggs, so I put eggshells in here. And I also put that worm chow in here. Let's take a look. There's some eggshells. There's some of the red wigglers. These are the same worms that I got from Mimi's Worm Farm some time ago. Now what's interesting, look at that. So these are red wigglers, and they're actually mating right now. They kind of weld themselves together. It's pretty interesting how that works, but they're mating right now, and even they're both male and female. I can't remember the name of what it's called, but they all can produce eggs. It's pretty interesting how worms work and how they reproduce. So as long as you keep the worms happy and fed, your worms will really take off. They'll just keep mating and making babies. But what I'll do is I'll come in here springtime. I will harvest all the worm castings out of here, and they will go on my garden. So that's kind of cool to do that.